go into Boston and Cleveland. Cleveland had a really nice team game to take game 2. And to me, it just felt very reminiscent of game 2 in Miami, where for some reason they win the first game and they're like, yeah, we're good. And then they drop the second game and then they actually play well thereafter. Obviously, Boston's without Kristaps, and that's the long-term implication for them. What do they look like there? I know that I sent you a text message saying Boston, and that was in reference to me picking who's going to win the NBA championship. It is Boston's title to lose from the Eastern Conference, but I think the better teams are in the West, and Kristaps not being healthy is going to stop them from even being competitive. I think that really... it's overly simplistic, but I think once Denver and Minnesota are done, that will be our NBA champion with an asterisk of Kristaps being healthy. And I know that I'm completely glossing over the fact that Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell's playing fantastic as per normal. Evan Mobley might be coming out of his shell now and actually getting the kind of hype that he was surrounding. But Boston is the better team. They should progress, bar something catastrophic happening. Then they should pretty easily handle Indiana, and then they go into the finals. And if they're healthy, they will be competitive. If Kristaps is not healthy and this calf issue persists, I think Boston is going to be looking at a similar situation, if not a worse situation than they had 2 years ago against Golden State. I actually think that they'll get a sweep or a gentleman's sweep against Denver, and then maybe 6 games against Minnesota. But I'm really being clairvoyant here, so help me out.
Well, right now you're saying obviously the Celtics will get past the Cavs, yeah? And I think Mitchell actually is banged up, I think. Donovan Mitchell is right now is listed day to day as well with some sort of soreness somewhere. Look, I think I picked the Celtics to get this series done. I think Jarrett Allen's around the corner of returning as well. There are these variables. I think at the end of the day, Mitchell has to come out and have some sort of crazy game. Yeah. Okay. And he's their best player. And look, I don't know whether that's going to happen or not, but this game 4, where we're up to game 4 now. Yeah, is that right? They're up 2-1. Okay. That, it's going to be, it's a similar sort of situation. This is where the playoffs sort of is why we sort of all watch it a little bit more closely, right? Because these are those opportunities to have career defining moments. Yeah, and I guess, whether like Donovan Mitchell or the Cavs have that sort of ability to manufacture that or not, they are at home. I think that's the big question here. But look, even they pull it off, I think, Cavs just have the depth here. I'm not going to look too far ahead because I think Kristaps is going to come back at some point in these playoffs. The question will be, can he stay healthy? Yeah, it wouldn't be shocking he comes back and then 2 games later, oh my God, it's sore again. I got to be out for another 4 weeks.
Well, it's really interesting, like how the narratives end up just settling into what they've always been, and not trying to be prolific or anything like that. But Kristaps, I guess, was the big off-season acquisition. Drew Holiday helped shore up their guard rotation, but Kristaps is the difference maker, the X factor, so to speak. And when he's been out, they are a different team. And probably one thing that we didn't touch on: Boston Celtics are a 3-point shooting team. I guess you wouldn't envision it or you wouldn't imagine it based off who's on the roster, but their success is wholly dictated by that. And when they shoot poorly, which they did in game 2, they typically lose. So they don't lose often, but if they do lose, they probably didn't shoot well from 3. So it's pretty obvious for them. But the problem is, again, projecting forward, the Western teams will defend a lot better from the 3 than what they're currently going up against. So I guess knowing that the NBA champion is either Denver or Minnesota once they sort it out, do you want to talk about the NBA draft?
How do you know this? I find that you're full of statements today, like you've got some crystal ball you found in the mailbox today or something. I don't know what's going on, man.
So bear with me here, man. But I've been having
some dreams. You just know this, dude.
I've been having dreams. Really interesting dreams, right? I don't want to get into it too much, but I'm going to tell you this one. And this is how I know I'm starting to get in touch with my third eye here. I'm feeling like Kyrie during Brooklyn. All right. So I had a dream about a black cat just being in my house, right? I recently moved, got a new house. And then today when I came home from work, right, you would not believe what walks across my driveway. There's a black cat.
I was going to say a Timberwolf or something, right?
I'm seeing the future, okay? There's cats in my dreams and there's cats in reality, man. I don't know about you. Something's
There's a
going
cat
on.
there's a cat on the T Wolves, right? I see what's going on here, right?
See, okay, you're right.
Is this how
Yeah,
you're
did
getting
I
there?
pick Denver? So wait, do I go back to?
I don't
I'm
know.
going back to Minnesota.
Your your
7 games to
your your
Minnesota. Let's
your
go.
your logic is not making any sense right now.
No, there is no logic
Um,
anymore, man. It's
Except
just
maybe
I'm sticking
Cat
with
will
you.
end up in the NBL next season, and somehow Shep will get an NBL team or something in the next few years. Is that what you're trying to say? I do not know what you're trying to suggest here, except
Can't see that far
you're
forward.
making a lot of really clear statements here that are writing off like half the field that they just have no hope. Is that what you're saying? Because I don't feel that. I actually feel this year a lot of. I really feel this year it could be anyone's championship. There is no dynasty here to be had. There is no sort of, besides the Nuggets trying to start to create theirs, there is no sort of Hall of Famer leading their team. That's a vet that's going to try to build on their legacy. Again, the Nuggets fill that category with Jokic, obviously, but it's just them and the rest of the field here, and it could be the field.
I think it's Minnesota or Denver, but that's okay.
I love the
um,
conversational piece
no,
today.
but you know what?